morning. So I have decided, I always think a lot on my car rides, and that's usually when I get to analyze humanity. And really, I think we all want to help humanity, even though we feel that, I'm one person. If I don't do the right thing, it's okay because no one else is doing the right thing. And there are two problems with that, other than the obvious. So the first is, if we think that ourselves, our choices, aren't going to make an impact, it's really difficult to get, not only to get over that, but it's really hard to make an impact that way, because you've already decided, I'm not going to do it because I don't matter, in that grander sense, dust in the wind kind of mentality. And two, if everyone shares that mentality, then there will never be change. So if all the individuals say that my voice matters and my actions matter and my little change in a group of others, if everyone thought that one person's impact matters, then maybe hundreds will make that same impact, and then thousands, and hundreds of thousands, and then millions, and then hopefully all of us. So I really want to help change that concept of what I do won't change anything, because not only is that not true, but we can see a lot of differences sooner if we don't wait for that big bang, for that one big huge movement, but make a lot of small movements every day, everyone together, for a greater purpose. And those greater purposes can be small things. It doesn't have to be every day I make perfect decisions and then in a month I can't stomach it anymore, and then I start making bad decisions and then I give up entirely. No, even if you do the right thing 5 days a week and then just stay home and then make your own messed up decisions, that's still a lot of change. You get what I'm saying? So while I'm talking about something that is very philosophical and grander, I want to make this series help humanity, and not only for me to reinforce the ideas that I think can better myself, better my community, and really things start on a community scale. So if you feel that if I'm a vegan, I'm not going to change the world, but if you talk to your friends, and then, this is just an example, if you talk to your friends and then they start changing their diet, even just in little ways, even just to be healthier, or to cut out one thing over the other, or something like that, and then they tell two friends, and then they tell two friends, there can be massive change over time, even if it starts in one town, in one school, in one office place, because each one of us has a network, and each one of us has an opportunity to make big things happen for our own lives, for our families, for our friends, for our communities, and for humanity. So that's a lot of big ideas right there. So I'm not sure if I should just cut it here, because I feel like that is really a big message that needs to be thought about and people need to internalize. But I'm gonna throw in one more, just because I have a little bit more time on here. And so what I initially thought about for today's Help Humanity is traffic. Because you know what? Traffic really screws up people's day. And like from the get-go, because wherever you're going to work, wherever, like whether it's a short ride or around the corner, like one person cutting you off, or the stop and go, like anxiety, it can really put some stress on your heart and on your head, and then you might make more like screw people thoughts in your head, and then that might, like, maybe you're not smiling as much during the day. Maybe you decide you're going to cut someone else off because they cut you off. And so I want to kind of focus on that ripple effect, acknowledge the snowball, and have people acknowledge their own feelings. So on my Instagram at the Sam Garcia, yesterday I was being aggressively honked at by this woman who just wanted to get where she was going. She was like an older woman. She had what I can only assume was her mother in the car, maybe, I don't know who, but an even older woman. And she just seemed really crabby, and because like I didn't understand why she was honking at me when I'm just driving. I'm like, she just wanted to go. And then I got upset. I got aggravated. I got frustrated because I was being harassed in my car when I'm following the rules. And so instead of retaliating or like chasing her down or cutting her off or honking back or flipping her off or anything like that, I stopped. I got out of her way. She ended up going way behind me anyway, because I think she realized that if she drove up next to me that I would be upset, because she recognized that she did the wrong thing, or maybe I'm giving her too much credit. But either way, I took the time to just take a breath, be like, maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe that's just who she is, and she's not going to change because I'm going to honk back at her. Maybe that's just reinforcing the problem. So I took the time, I took a breath, and I made a quick video saying that I was going to be positive instead. And it really made a difference in my day. And so that's also helping promote this. So what I wanted to do was trying to talk about the traffic problem. So I got a really interesting trick and piece of information down the grapevine. So a friend of mine had a friend who was a truck driver, and what they had learned from said truck driver was that, and this is someone who drives for a living, so I kind of trust what they have to say about this. The reason that there's majority of the traffic is because, especially, and this is more so for like major roadways. I can't speak for like traffic lights, but for major roadways, you always find like there's like this pocket of congestion, and then it's like this big open space, and you're like, why weren't people just moving the whole time? Because obviously right beyond this one area, everyone's going fine. It was like it never happened. And yet there's all this frustration and tension in this one spot, and then it happens again elsewhere. So once people start to like get congested, there's like a panic. Instead of just staying in your lane and keep moving forward, because all the lanes are congested, you're not going to get something different somewhere else. People they do like they go through this like fight or flight, and they're like, oh well, I have to keep moving. And then not only do they stop their cars, they slow down, they stop, and they're trying to switch lanes. So now not only is your lane, the one that you were in and trying to get away from, is slowed, and everyone behind you has to brake, you are now holding up the lane next to you, and then there's someone a couple feet ahead doing the same thing, and people are just crossing back and forth. And this truck driver was like, and again, I don't know him personally, but if you're there, and he was just like, if people just stayed in their lane and kept moving, the traffic would keep moving. It's because everyone is braking and switching lanes and congesting other lanes that there's nowhere to go. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And that's something that I now, and I'm not saying you can never change your lane. If you have to leave, fine. I personally like to stay in the slow lane because there's usually empty space. People are getting off and stuff like that. But if everyone just stayed in their lane and kept moving together, we can keep moving forward. And I think that's a great analogy to end on. So I'm Sam Garcia. I am trying to make my little difference in my little way, in my community and the global community. So please like and follow, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Love and peace. Bye.